Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So exciting price movement. No, not really. So yeah, we continue to see slow grind lower or just sideways on the weekend really, but we still expect lower here, of course. In this video, just want to zoom out a little bit because not too much is happening on the lower time frame. So let's go to the 4-hour chart and we can see here price action of the June lows. Actually, I wanted to show you, because it's always worth getting a bit of a reminder about it. We had a 5-wave move up into the August 22 highs on the ETH chart, yeah? We had a corrective move down in a wave 2, so we had our first 1-2 setup here. The next 1-2 setup, and the next 1-2 setup, and now the next one. So we've got a chart with 4 1-2 setups. That is normally a little bit too much. I did say that before, it's a very sloppy chart. It's 1-2 setup more than Bitcoin has. It's not invalid, it's not a disaster, but it just means it's very choppy and sloppy, and really this should really be the last one and we should really go after this one. If not, then this could easily break down, or it might morph into something where we say, okay, this last 1-2 setup that we have here is actually not a 1-2 setup, but in fact the yellow wave 2 here that presumably bottomed in June was never finished. How would that work? That would be the alternative, by the way. So if we break most imminent support of this 1-2 setup that started on the 15th of June, then we're dealing with a larger ABC structure. A wave down, B wave up, but this is a 5-wave move, so I'm not happy with that. And then the C wave move down right now, okay? Then we have this wave 2, which presumably bottomed on the 15th of June, to finish a little later. Yeah, but is it great? No. And as long as our imminent support level is holding, I have no evidence for that. Just wanted to show you this as an alternative, because the market is extremely slow and I can't always just repeat what I said before, because so far, you know, the market is just playing out our wave count, and it has been doing that for a while now. And I know it can get a bit boring if we just sort of repeat what we said before. I wanted to show you some alternatives. So if the 1713 level breaks, then this would be my bullish alternative. And the support area from June will become relevant again. So all the way down to 1534 most likely. Someone asked me before in the comments, you know, what happens if we go down to 1550 or something? Then, you know, what can I say? You know, what if, right? What if? Well, I mean, that's why we manage risk, and we need to understand that this is very much a likely option, of course, right? I mean, there is always an alternative wave count, and we just need to understand that below $1,700, this alternative is likely going to play out. Is it something I primarily look for at the moment? No. Is it something that could happen? Yeah. Is it very likely at the moment? It's at least not unlikely. Yeah, it's certainly a valid alternative. But again, as long as I don't see any evidence for that, it is just a, okay, I believe it or I don't believe it. So we need to see the evidence. And as long as we don't even get close to $1,700, which is our most imminent support, then there's no reason really to focus on that too much. It's worth knowing about it as an alternative, but it's something I talked about before anyway, right? Because nobody knows the future, but that should be common sense. It's just that as long as we don't see anything that supports this, there wouldn't be a need to focus on that as a primary. Yeah, first of all, we're dealing with most imminent support. If that breaks, we deal with the alternative. And of course, it makes sense to maybe prepare for it, you know, from a tactical point of view, okay? Maybe leaving a trade a bit more space and leaving cash for lower prices, for example, things like that. Another alternative I wanted to show you while the market is boring is the idea that if this is the scenario, so this here A, B, C, that you need to be prepared for a scenario in which this B wave, okay, might not even be finished. So nothing stopping the market from doing this. A wave, then a larger B wave in A, B, C, and then to come down in the C wave. So A wave, B wave, a high B wave in an A, B, C, and then the larger C, of wave 2. That would also not be bearish. It would just mean more choppy price action, and it will take a while until we get a breakout. This is not an unlikely option. And I just want to point it out as something that I don't want you to be surprised. What I told you is that this move down currently looks unfinished. So if we start to rally now, this is certainly something I would pay attention to. Exactly, and it is a possible option. Okay, it's actually also not an unlikely option. But again, it is not really against our primary scenario or anything, right? It would just mean that we see more chop. It would not be bearish again, right? It would just delay the breakout higher. It is something that I would think Ethereum is definitely capable of doing. And again, nobody knows if this is going to happen, right? It's not about predicting it or not, right? I can't tell you this is going to happen or not. There's no way you could say that. There will be likely different opinions, and someone who says, okay, this might be more what I think, or not, whatever. It can happen. And again, what you cannot predict, you can manage with tactics. Exactly because of that potential scenario, I've already started to scale into Ethereum further into this setup. So in this scenario, don't get me wrong, our setup would work out. Okay, so even though, and that's a phenomenal example how, for example, if a different wave count works out, how the setup could, well, no, don't get me wrong, how the wave count could be wrong that we're primarily following. Okay, but you can still make money with it. Okay, because I've got the yellow box on the chart. If in this scenario the price is rallying, and it fails to break out, you could still make money with our setup. Yeah, even though an actual different wave count is playing out, because the price would still reverse in our yellow area. So there are always, different wave counts and possibilities and likelihoods. But I always go with what I think is the most likely one, which at the moment here is a 1-2 setup, which should break out. But of course, I cannot guarantee that a breakout is likely to happen. But something like that, where we get maybe an ABC structure, absolutely possible. Still, though, anybody who just follows the setup could scale in here, move up the stop loss while price is moving higher. If it fails to break out, you can always take some profits along the way, which is recommended anyway, always. Or move up your stop loss, and if it then makes another low, you can just buy back cheaper. Yeah, just to give you a bit of an idea, a bit of a food for thought. Trading isn't easy, right? Trading isn't easy. You need to know that. You need to know the different scenarios that can be playing out. And I wanted to dedicate this video a little bit to that, because it is starting to get really boring, and it's really stubborn. It doesn't really want to go much lower, but I still see it go lower. It should really go lower if we're dealing here with this ABC structure. Nothing is telling me at this stage that we wouldn't go lower, so I'm still focusing on that primarily. But it is always worth knowing about the different scenarios. And here in the very short term, looking at our primary scenario where we see this as a 1-2 setup, as I said, as long as we're holding 1700, I would focus on higher. And ideally, the next rally will be that third wave breakout. Even though something different could play out, as I just showed you, the setup would still allow you to make money, even if a different wave count in the end plays out. And what else? I'm lost. No, I forgot about it. I don't know. I might remember it later. Yeah, can't remember. But you can always adjust your stop loss, of course, if it starts to rally. Okay, and taking profits along the way is never a bad idea. I remember again. So what I want to highlight here is that, of course, something different could play out. I mean, I'm preaching about that in every video, right? The uncertainty of the markets. I preach about it on Twitter, Instagram, and everything. By the way, check out these channels if you like to. Embrace uncertainty. Prepare for different scenarios. Okay, trading isn't easy. You need to know that. But this opportunity here, where we are looking at a potential third wave rally higher, yeah, is just too good of an opportunity to be missed, in my opinion, right? I know there are still a lot of bears out there, and I'm not telling you that a bearish scenario couldn't play out. It certainly can, okay? But if I was telling you we definitely are going to come down and go back to whatever $1,000 something, or even new bear market lows. But we're actually in a bullish setup. It wouldn't be responsible. Instead, I'm showing you my preferred scenario. It is a scenario where we rallied in 5 waves in an impulse. We're coming back in a corrective way into support, and it is a valid setup. I'm also going to tell you the level, if crossed, that would tell me I'm wrong, and that's basically here the $1,700 level. Okay, so I'm focused on higher. There are a few scenarios how it could play, how this could overall play out. I showed you a few. I think the bottom line is we need to leave the trades a bit more space. We need to be prepared for wave count changes because we're in a very choppy environment. We're just below key resistance, which is here 2,140. So it will be naturally hard to get through. It could rally and still come down. In that case, the setup would still work out, but it's always worth adjusting stop loss or taking profits along the way, and just to embrace uncertainty, especially as we haven't got an established trend. It's difficult. We are in an uptrend at the moment, yeah, but the altcoin market still looks very much in a poor state. Bitcoin, Ethereum look decent, but Ethereum really needs to break out, or it will get very, very difficult eventually. Yeah, as I showed you, we have too many 1-2 setups now. So yeah, I'm always following the charts. I always keep you updated. If anything's changed, then I will let you know. To be honest, in recent weeks and months, not too much has changed. It just took a long time to play out. But so far, I think the forecasts have played out in nice ways. Yeah, of course, I can't always forecast every single subwave, but I'm not trying to. I would never try to. I would never try to make sure that. Oh, I would never try to pretend that Elliott Wave could predict every single small wave of volatility in the crypto market. No, of course not. But what it can do is to establish key levels for reward and risk, key trade setups that are highly rewarding, and to tell us when we're wrong. Okay, and that is so valuable. Okay, that's my update about Ethereum. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.